Hello to all you studious heroes and calculated villains. Welcome to another visual guide dedicated to helping fellow players such as yourself. Today we'll take a look at the Cursed House of Mysteries Elite, an elite level alert introduced through the Justice League Dark Curse DLC. If you're looking for a guide on the regular or event version, then I would suggest using what you learned from this guide, as both versions pretty much share the same mechanics. My name is Starry and I'll be your guiding light. As usual with every instance, you'll start this alert dealing with some hallway ass leading up to the first boss, Rran. The first mechanic you'll need to watch out for will be Rran's firebomb attack. A red spread marker will appear on the player before exploding, dealing out damage to anyone nearby. The targeted player needs to move away from the group to avoid hitting anyone with the explosion. Rran's Hell Pit attack will place fire AoEs under multiple players. The fire puddles deal heavy damage to players standing in them, so players will need to move quickly away once they see the puddle spawn to avoid the damage. Teams should also stay separated for this fight to avoid stacking the puddles on top of each other. Rran will summon mirror clones of himself throughout the fight. These mirage clones will display a timer above their heads that will count down to an AoE explosion. Destroying the ads will stop the timer. The explosion damage can be easily shielded and healed through, so the clone priority can change per group and team composition. The final mechanic to watch out for from Rran will be his flame breath. Rran will face a direction coupled with red arrows on the ground showing the direction of his attack. He will shoot out a heavy damaging channeled fire attack that can't be interrupted. Just move out of range of the attack to avoid taking damage. Rran will repeat these mechanics until he's defeated, allowing players to make their way to the sword puzzle room. This puzzle is pretty easy to figure out, with teams having to listen to Rran's sweet poems describing the correct sword to activate. Completing this puzzle will open the way to the next boss, Cursed Deadman. Deadman has two major mechanics: ghost form change and the flying furniture. Deadman will turn all players into a ghost, taking away all abilities while placing a colored marker above their head. Players will need to interact with a matching colored symbol placed on the sides of the room to return back to their normal form. While turned into a ghost, players can use an enhanced version of the roll that has a longer range. For anyone who doesn't know, you can roll by holding down block while moving your character in any direction. Deadman at some point will disappear from the battle, starting the flying furniture phase of the fight. Multiple yellow lines will appear on the ground showing the path of the flying furniture. Players will need to quickly look for a safe spot in the room where there are no lines. The furniture will fly in a straight line across the room according to the yellow line markers. Getting hit will result in heavy damage taken, so it's important not to mess up too much on this part or it could result in a quick KO. Deadman will target a player before going into the air and flying towards his target, dealing AoE damage coupled with a knockback at his landing location with his trapeze attack. This attack can be blocked, shielded, and healed through, or avoided by moving out of the way. The final mechanic from Deadman will be knocking heads. Deadman will stand still facing the direction of his target while performing a dancing-like emote before shooting out a projectile that will deal damage and knock back any affected targets. You can block this attack if you're his intended target. This attack can also be healed and shielded through. Deadman will repeat these mechanics until defeated, sending teams to the final boss, Cursed Swamp Thing. Players will have spore clouds appear under them throughout the fight. These spore clouds are similar to Rran's Hell Pit, where they will deal damage to players standing in them. Teams will deal with this mechanic the same way they dealt with the Hell Pits from earlier: spread out and move. A player will be transformed into a plant creature unable to move from their current position with Tree Curse. At the same time, a sigil will appear along the edge of the room, requiring a player to interact with it in order to free the cursed player. It's important for players to free their teammate as quick as possible in case a spore cloud appears under the transformed player. During the fight, piranha ads will appear and chase after a player. The targeted player will have a purple arrow above their head. Tanks will need to pull the ads away, keeping them away from the target. If the ads make contact with the targeted player, then they will grow in size, getting stronger. The ads are pretty squishy, so it's easy to take them out while they're pulled together with Swamp Thing. The final thing to watch out for will be Swamp Thing's regeneration phase. Swamp Thing will teleport to the middle of the room and hide inside a seed. While inside the seed, Swamp Thing will regenerate health at a quick pace. To get him out of the seed and stop the regeneration, teams will need to destroy the ads that appear as quickly as possible. Each time Swamp Thing breaks out of the seed, his size will increase. Swamp Thing will continue these mechanics until he's defeated, marking the end of the alert. And thanks for watching, everyone. Please let me know if you've enjoyed this guide and leave a thumbs up if it's helped you out. If you're interested in staying up to date with all the latest DCUO guides from me, then subscribe to the channel. The next instance we'll take a look at will be Cursed Themyscira Elite. See ya.